Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Clayton and Sheila podcast. And we're going to continue our discussion from last week. This is episode 4 that we're going to begin to why let yourself heal. And just like I said, we're just going to continue to expand and to elaborate on some things. Is that why is healing is very scary to many people. And healing requires you got to be honest with yourself. You can't fool nobody but yourself. Healing requires it requires slowing down. You might be moving a little bit too fast. Healing requires facing what hurts you. That's my opinion. And I believe that healing requires letting go of old identity. And Sheila, what do you think about that?
Yes, you have to slow down when it comes to you got to rest. When you're not rested, you can't make good decisions.
I believe that.
And in order for you to make those decisions, you got to try to take care of yourself and calm down and slow down, like you say. And you got to be honest with yourself on when you need that time to take a break and rest. Sometimes you got to do, Clayton, reflections and say, I need to take time out. Give me some time. And sometimes people, they go on a vacation or something. They say, hey, let me be alone. Let me see what I need to do. And it's not nothing that you can do all of a sudden. You really have to pace yourself. And it depends on the situation also. So I think, sometimes we need to sit down when it's really quiet and think about what we're doing. And because you can't make any good decisions when you're tired. You can't. You have to be well rested. How important rest is.
Yeah, and that reflects back on something is in the military, they say you got to have the proper amount of rest in order to pass the test. And so without a proper, you cannot function at your best.
Right.
And I'm sorry to intervene with that. Rest is, most people saying, they misinterpret it. Say rest could mean laziness. But I mean, they'd be calling me rest all day because that's all I do is rest. And it is a maintenance. Just like I said, it's not a sign of being lazy. It's being emotionally honest about a situation. But when you're in denial of a situation, actually it's going to hurt so much in the long run. And, naming your feeling is hearing. It's healing. Let's process this. When we look at avoiding delays in recovery, these sometimes can be emotional, honestly, that you in denial of. And honesty creates space for God to work. And I don't know whether you agree with that or disagree.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to be honest with yourself. Sometimes, have you heard of Jehovah's window?
Yep. I don't know what you know. You don't know what I know. Yeah. I think that's Jehovah's.
Yes. We do things and we don't realize the impact of what we're doing. And other people can see it, but we don't. And
so we call ourselves hiding that?
No, I don't think it's purposely hidden, but I'm taking this back to the military perspective. You work 12, 14-hour shift days.
Right.
And you a workaholic. And your boss is telling you need rest. No, I don't need rest. You need rest. You're making mistakes that can cause catastrophes, for example, like maintenance or something like that. sometimes you have to tell people to take a break, and they're hard-headed, and sometimes they got things going on. And I've seen a lot of people try to work through their problems instead of stopping healing. Because sometimes we do things to kind of take away what we know we need to focus on. Hurting, or you're going through a bad relationship, whatever it may be. Avoidance doesn't help. What I'm trying to say.
So when you use the word avoiding, in other words, you in denial or what?
Yes. Sometimes people try to they don't want to think about it, and they try to do everything to keep themselves busy from thinking about taking a rest or taking a break or dealing with a problem or situation they may have. I think it all boils up into healing, healing yourself, and being honest about getting that rest of what you need to focus on, or asking for help. Basically, some people don't like to ask for help.
Well, healing, you heal the people, most of the people that's connected to you. And again, I mean, this episode is one of the things that I love talking about, because this is about real talk. And what else? I mean, on this episode that we can talk about, I think we're going to talk about.
Well, we gotta let God handle it.
Amen.
Some things are above our pay grade. We got to pray about it. We can't we try to do our best, and we always, like mothers, we try to manage everything on our own.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't like to ask for help, but some things we can't do. We can't manage everything. And once you tell yourself that and be honest with yourself, you have to, pray about it or ask for help,
That's true. Yeah.
And what would you do for somebody that was like, they were going through something, and that person needs help, but that person is, not going to ask for help?
Right. But for me, my person, sometimes you can see it without even saying it. And so, some people, they can't control their feeling. And I know that's something that you just really spoke about. And, they want to learn how to control and how to protect their feeling. And for me, my suggestion with you, that subject you just said earlier, that let God handle it. If you can handle it yourself, you wouldn't be crying out for help. Even if you was crying out for help, that's your only hope, and that's your only person that, going to be able to listen to you. I know, Sheila, you're tired because you're doing God work. Doing the God job. That's my personal opinion. And thank you. When you said something about controlling your trauma.
I think sometimes we all have a little trauma we just don't want to admit or talk about, or we try to ignore it and think it's going to go away. But I think healing is a part of bringing that out.
That's true. I believe that.
It's a way, but I'm not saying broadcast everything, but I think sometimes we find it hard to say how we feel or what's bothering us.
That's true. Before I intervene, you think this is mostly in men's or women's, or is it both sides of the spectrum?
It can be both sides, because women can go through childhood traumas, sexual abuse, violence, domestic violence, and things like that. Women are more open to talk about it. Some women aren't, because it hurts. But I know men do. Men kind of like keep a lot of things inside until they're older, and then they may talk about it, they may not, and they may have hard times in relationships. We're going to talk about in another episode about that.
Yeah,
on how it impacts you in, in your adulthood, things like that.
So you mean it may have something to do with the environment in which you grew up in and how you've been programmed to think, while people's, especially us men as minority, we tend to don't want to discuss anything. We just feel like we rather keep it inside and not realizing is that keeping it inside is like cancer. It's going to eventually eat you up. And so,
well, I think a lot of things are learned behaviors.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Learned behaviors. So I feel when you look at things as a learned behavior, you think nothing's wrong. Look at what's going on now in the world. It's a lot of people with these learned behaviors to hate people.
That's true.
And if they know nothing else, or they're always in the box in the same environment, it tends to shelter them onto in how they think. It's being closed-minded. To me, that's my opinion.
No, I think that's real talk. I think that's real talk. And when we use the term God, when we say, "Well, you can't receive with God fist, with closed fists," so I mean, what they say, a loose lip, saved lip. I mean, a closed lip never get fed.
A closed mouth never get fed.
Okay, yeah, and so I that kind of trusting God timing is very important. God gonna only act on His time, not because you feel like you're in an emergency situation. When I talk to God, when I get out on my knees, I'm gonna say, God, I need this tomorrow. God looking at you, say, guess what? If you need it, I'll give it to you when I ask you. But do you deserve it? I mean, that's my personal opinion.
But
I mean,
Clayton,
go ahead. Yeah,
God knows what's in your heart.
that's true. That's true.
What's in your heart?
I got to say amen on that one, because I can try to fool man, but I can't fool God.
Right.
I mean, God knows what you're thinking 24 hours a day. And so the only thing He said, when you come to me, I already know what you want before you even ask.
Right.
So
you already know what your assignment is.
That's exactly. And God timing is strategic. Delay is not denial. Well, I just went over there. You want it today. You ask for it today. And look, He already know when you're in crisis. He know when you're in whatever situation is. You can't.
It's His timing.
There you go.
It's His timing.
And I like the way you said that. It's His timing and His timing only.
That's what I'm talking about. Let God handle it.
Right.
Let God handle it.
And when the preparation is, when He prepares them, it is a protection. In other words, if everybody in the world just figure that God's going to respond to them, you got trillions of people in the world. Sheila, hey God, I need about 20 of them. Clayton, I need 20 of them. Okay, I know what you need before you ask for it. But if I feel that you deserve it, I'll give it to you when I feel like I'm going to give it to you. And so, when we talk about Sheila, God is not slow. What do they mean by that? I mean, I think that's you.
You can never say God is slow. I mean, that's just me, because He's gonna tell you when He's ready for everything.
That's true.
You can't put a time limit on God.
That's absolutely true. I got you. You're right. You're absolutely right.
How you gonna try to tell God what time He's supposed to do things?
Well, other people do it according to them.
Everything's on His timing.
Okay. So Sheila, you trying to say if I need about $30 right now, and I said I need it for the next 5 minutes, if I call God up, I won't get it because that's what I need.
I'm gonna talk to God and I say, don't get Clayton that money. He don't need it.
No, okay. Let's stick with the subject, please.
Okay, so let's talk about let yourself live. I mean, this whole episode is let yourself live. Today we're talking about joy, not that kind that say, no, I'm fine. When you at work, you just smile and say, I'm doing okay. Are you really doing okay? What do you think? Do people really tell people they doing okay? I'm fine.
No. And and when you let me I know it's a little off subject. It's almost like, when I was young, right? I used to go by my people's house and during Christmas time, and I called myself court during that time, 15, see, and they invite me to the house. Hey boy, you hungry? No, I know already eaten. Now your stomach sitting up here talking to you. You're lying through your teeth, and the minute somebody turn the head, hey girl, go over there and get me a piece of that, would you? So I'm talking real talk now.
Yeah.
Instead of you going over there and saying, no, I'm going to be a man. Hear your stomach saying the Lord's Prayer so your boy eat.
Yeah.
And so I know when I look at let God handle what you can't hold.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, Sheila, that's about real talk. And I'm going to talk about you got to let yourself live.
Right. You got to let yourself live.
It's got people walking around here is saying, look, man, whatever going to happen to me, I'm just trying to learn how to die. First of all, you're going to die, going to take care of yourself. You need to learn how to live.
Right.
Then eventually that you will eventually die. And the main discussion is life after disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all go through these kind of things, Sheila.
Mm-hmm.
Life after disappointment. Because, I'm going to be honest with you. Man, when I lost my mother, but I'm not going to get into that. There was a disappointment. We know there's a time to live. There's a time to die. You're not going to live forever. But when that pain hits you, I don't care who you are, you're going to say, man, that person is gone. And the disappointment can freeze you if you allow it to take that place.
Yeah, you can really go into a dark space,
Mm-hmm.
and
have you ever went through a dark space in your life?
Yes. I my parents, my spouse,
mm-hmm.
and it's hard. I mean, it's even hard to explain it, how to keep yourself from falling. But I had to really surround myself with positive people.
Exactly.
That lift. I cannot be around negative energy. I had to it's just people that come to you that you never knew that cared, so you have to reclaim your identity because everybody's looking at you too,
mm-hmm.
And sometimes I just had the times where I just broke down.
Yeah. And
crying is a good thing.
It's a part of healing.
Yes, it's releasing.
Exactly. It's releasing that other energy.
I cry for 5 minutes, cry whatever, and after you cry, you feel better, because it seems like it's a weight off you or something,
Mm-hmm.
So I have no shame in saying that,
Sheila, me being a man, I'm gonna be honest with you. That was one of the hardest things for me to do, is to be able to cry. And and you hold it inside. And you get to a quiet place, and that's when it's really gonna hit you. And so when I say that, you got to let it's out. And when we're talking about life after disappointment, we're talking about trauma. That trauma can really just sink your world.
Mm-hmm.
It can just put you into a pine like, I don't want to live no more.
Well, I think what trauma can do, it can change a person entirely.
Mm-hmm.
It can put your mindset in a space where you're angry. You're just angry with the world. You're angry with everybody. Mm-hmm. And I think if you experience trauma, you definitely need to get some help or talk to somebody that's encouraging and uplifting. You can't carry that weight alone. You got to pray to God. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. You have your friends pass away or something like that, and
it is hard.
That's really hard to deal with. So you got to be spiritually grounded. You got to, you got to try to reclaim yourself, and do something for yourself.
And you know, Sheila, and a lot of things I need to discuss is that fear, a lot of that stuff can make you feel real small. When you look at it, it's when you let yourself live. But when you got fear, you could never live a quality life unless you unleash that fear. I mean, Sheila, you survived the storm, but forgot to come back outside. Let's talk about that. You survived the storm. Get on back in here, girl, before that lightning hit you.
I survived a lot of things. I think I have a lot of survivor skills.
Okay.
I had no choice. Growing up, you know, being a caretaker at 15 years old.
Wow.
You have to do what you got to do.
Right.
So I think part of my childhood was stolen, you know, because I had to make adult decisions. So it's a survivor skill that I didn't ask for, but I gained, you know, from doing what I had to do.
Yeah, but you know what, Sheila, when you said something about, I mean, you're not your past, and you are not your pain, and you're not your mistake. And when I say you allow to reinvent yourself, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So I have to say to myself, joy as a spiritual practice. You know, I hear this scripture. God brings joy into everyone's life. And so when I look at joy is a warfare. Joy is healing. Joy is resistant. And I also think joy is resilient. And so
and that's the word, resilience. That word has a lot behind it. How you can keep going when the times get really hard. Resilience.
Right. And like I said, that word resilient, and you know, I mean, well, let's talk about, you know, how you could confuse the enemy. I mean, how can you overcome or confuse the enemy?
Don't get started. Don't level up. Don't get down to their level.
Okay.
I mean, that's never lower your levels to get into that energy, that bad energy space. You know, let them. I don't care what people think. If they think bad things, that's on them. I'm not, just because they think bad things, it may be of me. I'm not going to get down. I'm not going to entertain that.
Right.
I'm not going to get down to that level. Some people be hating me and I don't even know it, but I don't really care.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I'm not going to waste my time worrying about the little stuff like that.
And when you said that, people hate you, but don't know nothing about you. You haven't even spoke to them. And let me just put it to you, I'm talking real talk. If people get to know you, find out that you are a very nice person. But I will say this, a lot of us, we also judging you by the pigment of your skin. And to you, this is what God gave you. This is what I'm blessed with. So why do you hate me? Because, because of the color, even minority.
Right.
I mean, I know that being in the military, Sheila, and by the way that you carried yourself, I'm quite sure you had haters, men and women, is because of who you are. And when people think that you think you more than them, that's the way they think. You don't even think the way they think.
You know what I was called? An Oreo. You know what an Oreo is?
Well, I'm thinking about an Oreo cookie that got black and white. You know what I mean?
Black on the outside, white on the inside.
Well, I'm not going to argue. I can't argue with that group on that one. I mean, I'd like to give you. I can't give you a ticket on that one, Sheila. I really.
No,
You are who you are,
you don't
and
understand how I look at it. Look at the
right.
analogy of it.
But,
So
well,
when you in the military, when you in a leadership position,
mm-hmm,
and you have to make tough decisions for everybody, no
that's
favor.
true. Right.
Hey, all y'all gonna do this all together. Just because I'm black and you black, you ain't gonna get no favors.
Right. That's true. But
Oh, you ain't gonna change that for me? No.
right.
So
You're right.
that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Oh, you know,
Deserve.
you don't, you know, you think you too good or whatever. And the most problem I had was black men.
You're right. You're right. You know
So
what? And Sheila, I got to give it to you, and I'll salute you. You only stayed in 20 years. It says a lot about you, of how you moved up in the military and the positions that you held. But when you are working with quote unquote with us, that's where the problem starts, because they feel like you're supposed to help them out, and by
I did stand up for what was right. Now that's one thing I did do. If it was wrong, it was wrong. I don't care who you are.
right.
I was tough, I was consistent, but I was fair.
That's the key
Fair.
point.
But I'm not going to put my neck out there for something that you chose to do wrong. Because you made your own bed up. You got to lay in it. You made your own bad decision. That's what you got to live with. So,
I haven't heard that term in a long time. You make your bed hard, you got to lay hard. But that's a lot of meaning behind that.
mm-hmm.
When you do good going to follow you. And Sheila, I'm just going to say this to you. I only had 2 minority supervisors. Those were the 2 worst nightmares that I've had, because they expect more from you, especially if you're working with white combination. And I don't know whether is it just part of slavery, the way people think. Why would it be much harder on you if I became a supervisor?
Because we always had to, I always had to work harder to prove a point that I knew what I was doing. I told you, I killed people with my knowledge. I studied a whole lot. I studied what they supposed to know that they didn't know. And I even studied what I supposed to know. I knew my job and I knew their job.
Yeah.
And some people don't like that because they feel challenged, but they expect you, especially females, in the military, they ain't want us in there no way. You have a baby, they hated that. But they feel that you went up to the same
standard, right,
with them. So they felt that you was underneath them, that you couldn't do the same job they did. But that's a different discussion. But I can
right. But that kind of add on, when I look at the, as far as the next, segment, joy is not irresponsible. It's a way of restoring what is good, what is bad, what has been blocking you up. And you're talking about let them miss you. Well, what do they mean by that? Let them miss you. The cause of over availability. Now, most people probably couldn't understand what that might mean. Is that over giving lead to resentment? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but I think this, when you say let them miss you, like when you're working or when you do everything for everybody else,
right?
Some people don't appreciate you until you're not there.
You're right.
Showing up. When you stop showing up, start giving them stuff, they be like, "Oh man, I need to call Clay."
Right, right. Man. That's true.
Yeah, but when you was doing it, what did they do? It was expectations.
You're right. That was the word.
It's expectation. And sometimes we have a fault of enabling people. And I had to learn that when I train my NCOs. I say, look, I want you to train them so they can do the job, if you're not here, I could depend on this person right here to give me the answer. I said, that's how you got to train your people up. So when you're gone, what they do is a result of which you trained them on.
So that's true. That's true. That's absolutely true.
So some people like to hoard and keep everything to themselves, all the knowledge. I mean, you know what? I knocked them in the head. I got rid of them. But it's
about teamwork.
Yeah, it's about teamwork. But some people are selfish. They know what you need and they won't give it. They won't share it with others. It's called selfishness. But some people are so valuable that they do a lot of things and they don't get recognition for it. And I was one of those persons. But when you leave, they see, oh man, I didn't know she did all this.
Right. You don't want your water until the well go dry.
Yes.
And you know what, Sheila, I can, like I said, when I look at what you have accomplished, and and how you had to go above and beyond, when we talk about over functioning, it can really lead to burnout. I mean, when you look at it, over excess lead to entitlement, because when you are dedicated to the mission, you worry more about the mission being accomplished. And sometimes you get burnt. Go ahead.
That was me. I had a 24/7 job, system analyst. Sometimes I had to take my kids to work with me.
Wow.
Sometimes I went to work when it was dark. I left when it was dark. I burnt myself out. I was in a new career field. Nobody wanted to train you nothing. So guess what? You had to learn the hard way. I made a lot of mistakes. But that's how I learned.
Well,
I burnt myself out.
Being a young senior NCO and had the responsibility of being in charge of maintenance. And to me, I would think because of who you are and the pigment of your skin, people could not adjust being a maintenance chief and being a minority person.
But see, maintenance chief, let me clarify.
Okay.
When I was in the military, did 20 years, right? That was supply, logistics. But when I got out, I went to state police, then I went right back in logistics, then I went to maintenance, because in logistics, I lost my job when they had, the furlough stuff like what's going on now in the country. You lose your job. I lost my slot. So I had to go to maintenance. And I did 20 years. I did 22 years. So total, I did 42 years.
What? Oh, wow.
42 years dealing with military. Because I was supervisor and superintendent. So yeah, the diversity was lacking in maintenance. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah, especially maintenance.
Oh yeah, it was 98% men.
Right.
So
I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. I have to salute you, and many people don't understand what the military is all about. To achieve what you have achieved, it wasn't given to you. It required hard work and self-esteem. I mean, hard work and believing who you are. And people value what they have to reach for. And to me, that's you.
Thank
you had to value what you reach for. The power of scarcity. You don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to be everywhere. But
Can
when
I
you
pause for 1 minute, please?
Yeah.
Can I pause for 1 minute?
Yes.
Somebody's at my door.
Not a problem. So what we are discussing about the inner person is, if whatever you believe in yourself, and do not allow someone to dictate your future. You must be your own president and the CEO of your own life. And I'm going to say this to all of you. Once you recognize and find out who you are, then you can go a step forward. And just like I said, I mean, people value what they reach for, and they don't have to be. It have to be everywhere. And Sheila, you just said you don't have to be everything, and then you don't have to be accessible for 24/7, like Sheila was a background trying to accomplish the mission. So, I mean, Sheila, I mean, what is the president is a privilege.
And so can you repeat that, please?
And I think when I went to the power of my scarcity, I'm saying to you is that the president your president is a privilege.
Thank you.
It's not a guarantee. It's a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
So those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you to expand on that one.
And what terms, Clayton? Because on let them miss you or let them grow?
No. Okay. Let them miss. You got that last one before let them grow without you.
The power of stepping. Let's talk about the power of stepping back.
Okay, the power of stepping back. Okay.
Like the because we're talking about let them miss you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go with it. Well, let's see now. The power.
I've had to step back, Clayton.
Huh? What was that?
You deal with people who always try to level up on you because they think you don't belong in a certain space. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I was the only one in the room, but I was the subject matter expert.
Right. How did they accept you, Sheila, being a female? I mean, I get, look, I was in the military also, and I know how the trusting is still there, or feel she's not capable, but you had to show them better than you tell them, and that's being resilient. And
I had to, sometimes I had to let people fail.
Mm-hmm.
They say what they want to say, they tap dance, they lie in front of the commander. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I give them the power this time. But I give them one time, Clayton.
Oh,
okay.
What's that?
I give them one time. I give them a pass one time.
Right.
But I had a colonel come up to me and say, I did a complaint on how the meeting was ran because they were calling people retarded. And I don't like that word retarded. They were talking about people in their own squadrons. And these are squadron commanders talking to the group commander. You saying your people are retarded?
Yeah, see,
and so I went up to him. I said, that is disrespectful. I said, this is not the time and place. This is not the audience. I mean, everybody was in the room and heard this. And I went up to the group chief and said, that's unacceptable. And they were all in cahoots with each other.
Right.
And so the next meeting, we can't say nothing. Sheila's here. Don't say nothing. Be quiet. I said, and I told him, I said, let me tell you something. I'm not going to bite my tongue for none of y'all. And if you have something to say to me, you can say it in my face right now. I said, because I ain't playing with y'all.
And that was probably 99% of whites.
Oh yeah.
Because you was in an organization where it's pretty much manipulated by.
Yeah, it was I called it out, and I'm on Facebook, whatever. Good old boy system.
You're right. You're right. Absolutely right. And why do you think when you walk in the room, look, she's in here, don't say nothing. That means that they respect you.
Well,
or they're afraid of you.
Oh, I was told that I intimidate. I was intimidation. I intimidate a lot of people. It's not that I intimidate you. It's like, I know your game. I know my job.
Right.
So when you're wrong, I'll tell you it's not correct. I'm not going to tell you right if you're right. Some people say, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. No, that's not right. And so they didn't like that. But I wasn't playing no tit for tat games. But if I couldn't do it, I tell you I couldn't do it. If I could do it, I could tell you I do it. It's just being honest and dealing with, and integrity.
The word integrity, and it's you being fair, you being honest, and you treat people the way you want to be treated, and you looking at both sides. You're gonna weigh both sides before you overreact, because that's called an effective supervisor or effective manager. And most people is not going to like you, even though they know what the regulations say, or they don't have the time.
They tell me, I had a group commander tell me, oh, we're not going on instructions and regulations anymore. That's changing. And I'm like, I couldn't say nothing. I said, I was speechless. I said, I've never heard anybody and no group commander say that. And we was going to a major inspection. He didn't care if we passed or failed. I said, but yeah, when I pass with flying colors and no write-ups, now you want to pat me on the back in front of the inspectors.
Exactly. You're right. You're right. That is one thing that oh man, that's that phone. But anyway, my audience, Sheila, look, we're gonna continue this episode another day. And so for me to jump up and grab y'all, excuse me. Oh, that's good. I don't want to hear it. Okay. We're gonna continue this episode, or what we're gonna do, because I'm enjoying it. Let's just go to this last one. Yeah.
Let them grow without you.
Yes, because I mean, this is we touching the hearts of a lot of people. Let them grow without you. We're gonna why we try to save people, because we don't want them to go down the wrong road. That's what we are here to save lives, save lost souls. And for me, you got to show people empathy.
Well, some people need to learn the hard way. You can't carry people all the time, because that's weight that you carrying that you don't need to be carrying. You can't be everybody's life coach. Bottom line.
Well, sometimes people need a little lift. Sometimes people need a little lifting up when a fear of watching them struggle, and the desire to be needed. And then we're talking about that illusion of control. I mean, when you got to let them grow without you, some people figure that they ain't gonna even try as long as you're doing what I want them to do.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Some people we enable, and we do it to our families a lot. We enable people, and as long as you giving and helping and doing everything for them.
Yep, that's true.
Fine. As soon as that one time you say, no, I can't do it, guess what happened? Who mad?
You're right. And then reflect back on when you're raised up in the family, your family's so used to giving you everything that you want. You don't have to work for it, versus a family that don't get anything. So you get spoiled when you get in the real world. You so used to think everybody doing something for you. Now you can't even do it for yourself. And so what I'm saying to you, Sheila, when you say you're not there, they mean by you're not their life jacket.
I can't say you every time. Like I've said before, Clayton, you heard me say this. I help you the first time. I give you a pass. But the second time, you got to live by that decision, that choice that you made.
That's true. That's true.
Because that was not a mistake. That was a choice and decision that you made to follow. I'm not falling on for you. I'm not gonna stick my neck out there for you if I already gave you the tools, the resources, the money, whatever, to do what you got to do. Don't be looking at me when you do the same thing twice. You got to take your own bed up and lay in it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and you keep making the same thing over and over, and people call it insanity. You want a different outcome, but you keep doing the stuff over and over. I keep giving you everything you want. You don't have to work for it. What is the outcome?
But remember, you made a statement the other day.
Oh man, I gotta see. Excuse me. Let me just go ahead on and just You don't have to worry about it bringing them on. Oh my God. All right. Oh, I'm gonna take this phone. Go ahead. Sorry about that. But look, Sheila.
You remember when you said had a conversation about kids are not working these days. They're relying on their elderly parents.
That's true.
To give them everything, and the elderly parents are stressing out because some of the kids are moving back in and not doing nothing, hanging around and getting money off the elderly parents, and that's causing their health to decline.
Right. That is real talk.
It's causing their health to. We got to do better, because that's why I say you are not everybody's life coach. Just like I'm a grandma, right?
Right.
But I didn't have kids. I'm the grandma. Okay.
Right.
Give me the kids. I'm gonna give them right back to you. You hate them.
Right.
Hey, I'm retired. I don't work my life. I don't raise my kids.
And you're right, Sheila. And you know what? Again, a lot of these people are having family and they putting it back on their parents. And at the same time, their parent is sitting up there losing their health, trying to raise another family. And so some folks just don't want help, Sheila, and they just need a host. I mean, that's all they want. And growth requires discomfort.
Yeah.
I mean,
why we say let them grow without you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And people grow through consequences. People grow through responsibilities. And that's a big word, responsibility. And then when you say people grow through experience, and what do you think about that, Sheila? People grow through experiences.
Sometimes it's hard. You got to live by the hard choices you make, and you have some that overcome things in their lives and they've grown from the mistakes they've made. That's what I think. But my bottom line is this: we got to stop jumping to save people who don't even want to swim.
Yeah, that's true. You got to want it in order to get it.
They want you to carry them all the time. I don't want that energy. I don't want that weight. If you're not trying to help yourself, why do you need me to help you?
That's true. That is true. I mean, I can't disagree with you there. Because a lot of people don't want it.
On an airplane, what they say? Put your oxygen on you first.
Right. Yeah. You're right.
Put your own oxygen on first. Help yourself first.
Right. Then, after you make sure your life things secure, now go help somebody else.
So, if you're not good with yourself, how you gonna help somebody else?
That's that. Hey, I'm gonna totally agree with you, because in order for me to get help, I got to help myself.
Right.
So if you can't help yourself, I mean, other people can only do so much for you. It's like, for example, Sheila's telling me, look, I done got down sick. Get out of bed, boy, and walk. Well, I got to be able to have the mindset of getting out of the bed. I can't rely on Sheila getting up, coming up and see me every morning. I got to start doing something for myself, because a lot of people rely on other people.
But the main thing and the bottom line up front is this: when you keep trying to be the savior for everybody else, you don't know that energy is coming on you too.
That's true. Absolutely.
And that could cause you to get sick.
So other people wake and cause you.
Yes, because it's like a bowling ball. You taking everything that person have and you putting it on you. It's like extra weight you carrying.
That's true. Absolutely.
I had to use that analogy, but
that's a good analogy.
Why do you need it? How you gonna get rid of it?
Right.
How you gonna get rid of it? They don't put it on you, and now you carrying it around. They running around doing what they want to do.
Hey, but you know what, Sheila? I'm gonna tell you something. That's real talk. When I look at the way these kids around here having these kids, hey, they putting the weight on the grandparent. Okay, they can go out and party and all they want, but the more weight they put on the grandparent, it's the less they add years to their grandparent life. because they got a lot of pressure on them. You're going to come pick the kids up. You don't feed them. And so I'm taking your responsibility and bringing it into my world. And at the same time, you out there having a good time while I'm
why
suffering.
are we doing it? Why are we doing it as Black people? That's why we're saying let them grow without you. Sometimes if you don't learn from your own mistakes, how are you going to learn?
You're right. I totally agree. Yeah, look, like I say, my mom always say you got to crawl before you walk. And the thing is, though, see, there's a process, there's a growing stage. You can't go from the bottom stair all the way to the top stair. You got to climb one layer at a time. And that's part of growing, that's part of being who you. But again, Sheila, after all that we talk about, we also got to look at charity begins at home. It depends on all the things that we talk about. It could be some insecurity growing up at an early age.
But Clayton, I've seen it both ways. I've seen people give their kids too much. They had a good life, and they still go down the wrong path.
That's true. That's true. That is absolutely true. And
so, are we giving them too much? Are we giving them games so they can just sit and babysit themselves and give them everything they want? We got kids talking back to their parents, and that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't deal with that.
Well, again, as a subject that I can certainly relate to, but my result didn't come out the way a lot of people. They say, something about yaggity yak, don't talk back. Only thing that I can tell you, the minute you talk back, that's where you better find your head at. And if you try to swing at me with your left hand, make sure your right hand is going to be available, because you're not going to have that left one no more. So that tough love is good love. But Sheila, I'm going to say this here. We need to get back to that old time religion, because it was good enough for us back then. When we talking about, let things go, learn the hard way. I can only lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink. So you have to become independent. Depend on yourself. Don't always live off someone else, ride off someone else, or putting burden down on your parent. You ain't trying to get to work. They got Social Security. They got enough just to how now you coming in, eating up everything. Now you're bringing your kids. But what are you doing? You're not trying to benefit, help. You taking away. You putting that barrier on me. So me as a parent, I got to evaluate my health. I got to evaluate everything. I'm not going to put additional problems knowing that I'm already dealing with health issues. Self come first. And I mean, that's, if you want to add something to it, Sheila, I believe this is
one thing before we close out. And this is a listener challenge. Identify one person you're going to stop rescuing. And do it.
You're right. Identify one person.
You need to stop rescuing. You know who it is. Y'all know who it is. And y'all keep rescuing. Think somebody going to change. You can't think for a person. They got to think for themselves.
Yeah, but she'll never go. When you look at I'm not going to get into family issue. Boy, trying to rescue these guys is almost seeing a cruise line going under. Because you know what? I'm not going to give up on them.
Don't say it, Clayton.
I'm not, but I'm talking real talk though. But one thing, look, you already know where I'm going with this. At the same time, we all go through this in family members. It got some of them son gun will steal sugar out of cake. You ask them where they going, they tell you where they been. I'm just telling you, it depends on the environment that you grew up in. It depends on your household. Yes. All that has a direct impact on how you look at life.
Yes.
If you see nothing and you don't know nothing, well, what do you expect?
Well, I think I look at it, I like to use analogies.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they used to red line zip code areas, prevent people from buying houses, cars, and stuff. If you stay in that mindset that you in a red zone and you never want to get out of it,
right?
your mind gonna be stuck that way.
You're right. Right.
If you don't get out and see life and live life and get out the box and travel and go different places, you're not gonna know no better.
Right. But Sheila, you know what? I'm gonna give the audience an analysis, and if they can figure this out, I'm going to allow them to take me to Burger King. So this is the question: which one do you think has a better chance of surviving if you had people inside of a barrel? You got 10 people inside the barrel and you got 10 people outside the barrel. Which one has a better chance of surviving? That's a question to the audience out there. And guess what most people are going to say? The one inside the barrel? Well, look, first of all, before you come up with that answer, let me tell you the reason why you don't want that answer. The one inside the barrel is only have a limited space. They can't move around. The one outside the barrel got a better chance of surviving because they are not congested into that round circle. So our job as elder is to be able to get those kids that's inside of the barrel, outside of the barrel, where they will be able to make better choices. And so you got a lot of kids.
And expand their knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. You got a lot of kids living inside the box. They want to escape, but they don't know how to get out of it, and that's what we come in at.
Yeah.
And so again,
that's just like thinking out the box, Clayton. That's what we say.
Right. That's
exactly the box.
Right. And look, Sheila, thank you, and I think and thank all our audience out there for listening. What we would like for you to do is to be able to share this and make comment, because we are going to be coming on with some real talk stuff that is happening in the world. And I just asked Sheila about doing a podcast on what is happening today as to why there are so much murder and stuff among women.
Yeah, why do women end up in unhealthy relationships that lead to domestic violence and things.
And so that's what we're going to be talking on. And again, we want you to share this because we have to save America. We have to save our youth. We got to save especially our minority people. And we are speaking for those individuals out there who are unable to speak up for themselves. That's why we are becoming advocate for the people. So I thank you. Share this information and may God bless you. Until next time, please hit the notification button and let us know. You automatically receive one of our videos every time we come on. But we're going to be coming on live pretty soon. We'll give you a forewarning. Until next time, may God bless you, your family, your relatives, your children, your friends, and all your loved ones. Until next time, Sheila, adios.
Peace.